We should be ready to go. Yeah, there we go. All right, we're on YouTube. What do you think so far?
Just a second, I'm pulling up YouTube.
Okay.
You can go first while I'm getting ready.
Brunson starting to find the range a little bit. DiVincenzo continues to shoot amazingly well. The Pacers, whenever they get out to a lead, they just end up making mistakes to let the opposing team back into it. Halliburton was great early on, and I'm interested to see like what their offensive attack is going to look like because they're going to have to win this on offense in the fourth quarter because they're not going to stop New York, even though Neesmith's been pretty good. Seems like Brunson's starting to find a rhythm against him though. And Tom Thibodeau, of course, how much is he going to be substituting down the end? He's done a little more of that so far.
Thank you for taking that. I now have a YouTube link to your page on my Bookmarks bar, so I don't have to go through this whole rigmarole every time.
Yeah, I actually just did the same thing.
And yeah, I think Neesmith overall has done a good job on Brunson, but the overall idea that it's going to be hard for the Pacers to stop the Knicks is a strong one.
Yeah, so here's McBride. They are going to give Brunson a rest with Burks against Shepard. Now Burks getting it back. Late clock. Hartenstein comes in, leaves it. Oh, I thought McBride traveled there, and he does get it off of the baseline, missed it, and the Pacers get the defensive rebound. Jackson's running the floor. They look to Siakam in transition. Steps around easily, but DiVincenzo was there for a huge block. McBride pass fake. DiVincenzo, oh, got to get out on him. Come on, guys. Come on.
Pretty terrible execution. I mean,
There aren't
that many guys on the Knicks that can shoot right now.
Right. Jackson looking to hand off. Nembhard forced towards the baseline, throws it up. Jackson got the ball, and he's going to get knocked down by Hartenstein. Hartenstein did a great job of coming over on what was a pretty good pass from Nembhard. Jackson that has been a force around the rim offensively. Yeah, that's tough for a center. Like, he wants to help out. He's not used to guarding someone like DiVincenzo in 4-point range, but how many times do you need to see him do it before you guard him out there? McConnell has struggled, and Siakam gets inside position on Hart, and he has been able to use his size against Hart in this game.
2 early fouls on the Knicks here in the fourth quarter. Let's see if that ends up looming later on. In terms of foul trouble.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Jackson just doesn't need to be that close to Miles McBride guarded by Nembhard.
So individually, no players in real foul trouble. Siakam, Nembhard have 3. No one else has more than 2.
Now, I did appreciate Carlisle bringing it back, but here are the Siakam free throws, Danny.
Oh, boy.
First of the evening, I believe.
No, he had some earlier in the game, but not many. I think it was second quarter. It was very few.
Yeah, this is danger time for Indiana, down 8. And to me, the most disappointing thing about their team in a series of abject disappointments has been their inability to get stops with Brunson on the bench. They try to pressure in the backcourt, and Hart has it against Siakam. Siakam trying to pressure him. Hart going right by him. And a block from behind. Nice play there on Hart as there is no help at the rim. McConnell has struggled. He'll set up the 3 from Shepard. That misses. Both teams, or I should say Indiana, not shooting as well. Here they come right back, and McBride is going to get fouled by Siakam and goes flying into the stanchion.
Ben Shepard takes a corner 3, and no Pacers. I mean, I guess Siakam there. No Pacers really get back, and that's going to be a huge problem for them too. I mean, here they'll show the floor balance here. Well, just watch where the Pacers are.
Yeah, McConnell and Nembhard are both below the foul line there. 4 guys below the foul line. And Siakam clearly hits the arm. Probably wanted to contest that one with his left hand, which is closer to the ball.
Both teams have a challenge remaining. The Knicks had a successful one earlier in the contest, reversing an offensive foul on what was a dangerous charge attempt, as so many of them are. And to let all of you know, of course, we will do the entire competitive portion of Wolves Nuggets after this. I'm so excited for that one.
Yeah, you're going to get everything that Denver has. Siakam now on 4 fouls. Turner and Halliburton are back in. This is a last gasp for Indiana. Nembhard going at his fellow number 2, and Indiana's missed a lot of layups here, particularly in the second half. Here's Halliburton. Beautiful pass fake into the air. Sets up Turner for 3. They desperately needed that one. And those jump passes from Halliburton, it seems like he always finds the guy on those plays.
The young guys on the Thunder had less of success on that last night.
Good denial on DiVincenzo by Nembhard. Now he'll get open. Nembhard trying to bother him from behind. They kick it out. McBride's wide open for 3. And again, Nembhard, he goes for the gamble. He falls down. There's another Pacers mistake. Then he can't get back on the peel back on McBride. And they give up a 3 right back to push it to 9.
A 9-point lead is not like impossible to come back from, but part of the problem is the Pacers are so bad defensively that they're going to have to not hemorrhage points for like a 5 possession stretch to be able to make it.
Yeah, and again, this is all happening with Brunson on the bench. They've extended the lead. Here's Nembhard, works to the foul line, has to kick out. DiVincenzo went for the steal. That opens up Halliburton, and he's going to finish this. Hopefully he's okay on the floor there. Another dangerous charge attempt. Looks like everyone's going to be able to piece themselves together. Yeah, that was a weird play where McBride was just kind of stuck in some screening action, and then, yeah, he's trying to fight Turner, turns around, and that's actually a little closer, I would say.
That might actually be a charge.
He's not quite squared up, so Halliburton 3-point play. And there's an 80% chance the Knicks are going to score 3 points in this possession. Nesmith is back in to try to hound Burks. Burks gets to the foul line. Now it's going to be the backdoor attempts. They cover those up pretty well. DiVincenzo on the move, and he stepped out, I believe.
Yeah, he was trying to get a little bit more height on that pass to Hartenstein and just stepped on the back line.
Yeah, now Brunson was at the table. He wanted to come in. They wouldn't let him. I imagine this will be for Burks. It's tough to play Burks and Brunson together because of the backcourt defensive issues. Halliburton snaking the pick and roll, kicks out. Good peel switch back by DiVincenzo onto Toppin. Now Nesmith going right into Burks. Tough finish attempt there. Not a good shot.
And great help there from Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah, Hartenstein has forced some misses around the rim here in the second. Siakam is at the table as well to head back in. They drive that denial on DiVincenzo. He's still moving off the ball. Tireless work, throws it up. He's pretty exhausted, though, but he manages to come back in bounds and almost got a offensive rebound. But, man, look how tired he is right now.
And the older legs of Alex Burks couldn't quite spring to that loose ball. It flew out late. It would have been a tough rebound for him to grab.
Yeah, DiVincenzo couldn't really get off the ground. Tries to get it back. He may have actually been out of bounds there. He certainly didn't establish back in bounds with 2 feet, that's for sure.
Definitely would have been some big market bias officiating if the Knicks had gotten that ball back.
Here's Halliburton. Now they get Siakam in the pick and roll. Hartenstein kicks out DiVincenzo. They don't look weak side. That could have been a more incisive pass. Instead, Siakam just didn't make a quick enough decision. Halliburton will make a quick decision. He drives and finishes beautifully, and that's a move that we've seen more from Halliburton tonight, that reach through of the help. And now Brunson against Nesmith. Can Nesmith find something again against Brunson, who scored 3 straight on him right before Nesmith went out? Brunson getting past him. Good help from Nembhard. Now there's a steal. Halliburton, he's got Siakam running the floor. Halliburton almost traveled and somehow finished it.
Yeah,
he looks to be limping a little bit. Hopefully it wasn't the hamstring for him. Or the back. Hart finding DiVincenzo. There's the close down by Nembhard, and he tripped him.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on Tyrese Halliburton in the next few possessions. And the Pacers have strung together a couple stops, including that steal from Tyrese Haliburton. That's what they needed to get back really into contact
Yeah,
here.
so watch this. He's going to plant on the right, try to turn it over. I don't know if like his right ankle kind of turned over. You could see his face didn't look great there. That could be a hamstring or an ankle potentially, but let's see how he's moving. Maybe it's much ado about nothing. And there's an obvious foul with Neesmith all over the back of Brunson. And he didn't even have to stop short on that one. It was so obvious.
Now both teams at 3 fouls for the quarter, so 1 away from the bonus, and 4 personals on Nembhard, Siakam.
That should be a non-shooting foul. Sorry, I mean he's got his forearm pushing his shoulder down right here. He
dribbled again after
thought
that.
About shooting yet at that point. Yeah, there's no way this should be a shooting foul. Where is that coming from? Yeah, that's a call right out of 2017.
Lou Williams nodding his head in approval. Missed free throw from Brunson. So far in the game, the Pacers 9 for 11, 1 miss from Siakam, 1 miss from Miles Turner. The Knicks are 14. If they're, I think 13 to 17.
So Indiana back in contact here now. Brunson missing the first free throw, but makes the second of those. Oh yeah, Haliburton is not moving well at all.
Ooh,
it was either the right ankle or his right hamstring, I think. I couldn't really tell. He's going to try to work it still. Does cross over. He had Turner open. Now he gets it to him, and we'll get a foul from behind there on Hart. Yeah, Haliburton is having a struggle here. It was either the right ankle or the right hamstring. I think it's probably the ankle.
And yeah, he's dead. And I hope it's the ankle because that would be...
here it is. Let's watch it now. Hart goes for the steal. Yep, there it is. The right ankle. That's right.
And so Pacers now
they
good
out
on the
for
scoreboard.
Siakam. Spins back. Hart. That should not be a foul. Unless he gets his arm forward. He had it timed out. Sorry, what were you saying about the Pacers earlier?
No, I was going to say they're shooting for the rest of regulation because of that. That had been the Knicks' 4th personal. And here we go.
Yeah, so Siakam, another trip to the dreaded foul line for him. Let's see if this is a foul on Hart.
Maybe the left. So I think Josh Hart's right arm might have got him on the reverse camera angle. We'd have to see it.
I mean, that's one of those. Where the hell are you supposed to put your arm things? Yeah,
it could be.
He knew he was spinning back. He had him, and I don't like unless the guy is like has his arms all over you or his arm is way forward. Is this another challenge here by Tibbs?
No, the Pacers called a timeout.
Okay.
At least that's what the box score is saying.
Well, yeah. It would just be their automatic.
They're automatic. Oh yeah, they're automatic. Yeah, that's right. I still think there's a way to fix this and only log the discretionaries as team timeouts.
I'm gonna see if there's anything interesting we need to catch up on here.
Has the series showed that Nembhard isn't that good of a defender? I think that he can be very... It's a reminder that just like offensive players, that you aren't great against... Most people aren't great against everybody. And when Nembhard doesn't have some of the advantages that he can have, or it's also about the brilliance of Jalen Brunson, that if Brunson has the strength advantage and the guy doesn't have enough length, that he can cook that. But Nembhard is still a positive defender against a lot of guys, and he's a good team defender, which is something that you can really use from the guard spots as well.
Bench Nembhard, he's kind of better, so I would say, on off-ball guys. So maybe you put him on DiVincenzo. He is actually a pretty good help defender from the guard position. If TJ were playing better, I would say yes, but he's not. Like, he's kind of struggled tonight too. So I think I probably would. I mean, Shepherd is really your only other option. So I think I probably would just stick with him.
Yeah, because you can't really do Toppin as the other guy even if Neesmith is guarding Brunson.
Yeah, I put Neesmith to the gym. I mean, they just haven't played that way at all. I think that just makes him a little bit too big. Yeah, we'll see if Halliburton can kind of get that ankle loosened up. That's going to be a key here, of course. Nembhard does give him another ball handler, and Halliburton, could still be a really good off-ball player if they want to go that route. But maybe this is a chance to try to get Pascal Siakam going a little bit more, and I could see them starting to bring more help on those plays because I don't think Hart can really guard him. And then Siakam is going to have to get back to some more of the passing that he used to do in Toronto. I thought they had a play early when Hartenstein kicked the man out. DiVincenzo's running all the way to the weak side. Turner is wide open in the opposite corner. Siakam didn't see him.
Okay, that's good to know. So the lottery is at noon Pacific on Sunday.
Holy shit! I can't. This is like we should do a draft of just the holy shit that's happening already moments in the NBA season.
I have the draft lottery in my personal calendar now because I was like, oh, when's the draft lottery? So like everyone else has been surprised. I'm like, oh no, it's been in there for a while because it's during the Chicago Combine, and so that's why things got moved up a little bit. I assume so. I assume the Combine's going on.
Yeah, it's next week. So Siakam, big free throw. He stands almost a foot behind the line. Does make that one. Tied at 99. Pacers clinging to their playoff lives. And quite frankly, this is extremely important for the Knicks to go up 3-0 here. How injured they are. Brunson getting past Nesmith, and he can't finish. There was help at the rim, but here's that Knick offensive rebounding late. Brunson against Siakam. Brunson goes to the jab step, totally wrong-footed him, and he missed the layup. No foul call. He's limping.
And Hartenstein might be down too.
Yeah, they're pushing it in transition. Back to Nembhard. This is a 5-on-3. Halliburton's three-pointer is off. And, Siakam got pulled down by Burks. Now it's a 2-on-1. This is Brunson fighting DiVincenzo in the corner, and he left that well short. This is just a mash unit right now. Pacers never stop running, though. It's Nembhard. He's stopped underneath by Burks, and jump ball is called. That's the right call there, I think. Yeah, both teams had wide open threes. And yeah, that is absolutely the right call. Good strip by Burks. For New York, looks like they're going to go Burks instead of Achua down the stretch here. And the Pacers should be able to find some openings against Birch and Brunson. There's the steal of the tap by DiVincenzo. He goes in, block from behind. Good job by Halliburton getting back with the bad ankle, and he is still just limping up a storm right now. They want to go at Hartenstein. They're putting the center on Siakam, double team. There's the guy who can throw it to the weak side, but Hart closed it down. Nice pass, Turner, and Hartenstein plows through the body of Siakam for the foul.
Looks like a good call to me.
Yep, and good pass there by Miles Turner, who's not known for that, as DiVincenzo just steals this tip, but Halliburton ran him down beautifully. And
Pacers shooting for the rest of the quarter, but the Knicks still have only drawn 3 fouls, so they still have one more before they're in the bonus.
Yeah, what an absolute war of attrition these NBA playoffs have been. Siakam, not even close.
What a war of something these Siakam free throws have been. Oh boy.
Yeah, he's 8 of 11 from the field. What is he from the line now? I guess we'll call it out after he shoots this one. And he does rim that one in. He is 5 of 7, even though it feels quite adventuresome when he gets there. So Pacers have held the Knicks to 1 point in the last 4 minutes. Brunson has had some layups that he normally makes that he hasn't been able to get to. They don't switch that pick and roll at Halliburton. Brunson getting past Nesmith. Burks is in the corner. Halliburton overhelped, but they can't make the three. Good rotation by Siakam to DiVincenzo. That's going to be a charge. Pretty obvious one that time.
And Josh Hart turning down the shot opportunity to try to drive, and Nembhard takes that away.
Second charge of the game for Nembhard. Part of why I like him. Yeah, if he gets that right foot there, I mean that's a great play by Nembhard. It looked like he was nowhere close. Now Nembhard will try to turn the corner. Brunson tries to step up, and oh man,
I don't like that one. I think
that
it
was
was
a
to the
pretty
side.
glancing blow to me. If it like because of the fact that they just gave a charge on the other side. He doesn't make the layup, though, so probably not worth challenging.
Oh, but that's Nembhard's fifth.
Brunson doesn't use the screen. Nesmith stays in his stance. They'll rescreen. 2 on the ball here. They don't look for Hartenstein. Instead, it's Burks. They miscommunicate, and Burks has missed a couple. But then, these guys are so exhausted right now. Some of these mistakes are just flying off the screen.
Yeah, Knicks overall, they didn't have a great offensive rebounding game so far. About 26 offensive rebound rate during the first 3 quarters. And then it does seem like things are kicking in a little bit right now.
Burks out and McBride in for him. No Achua. Brunson. Turner has to take him on the late switch off the Spain pick and roll. Brunson going between his legs. Drives it. Late help. Another miss, though. These teams couldn't miss in the first 3 quarters, and now no one can make anything. Halliburton guarded by DiVincenzo. Rejects it. Gets to a spot. Stripped by Hartenstein, and we're going to stay here. Nesmith is now down.
I thought Nesmith hit that ball last, but maybe it bounced out of bounds before that. Oh, and he looks something.
A great strip by Hartenstein. It goes off of him. And yeah, it does. Maybe does it?
Oh, is that off? I think it might have been off Brunson, actually.
Well, Brunson hits it first, and then it might have hit Nesmith's knee, but then Nesmith is going to fall on his right shoulder here and mess that up.
Hmm. And this is a challenge. This is a challenge from the Knicks. Okay, so we're going to get some angles on this, presumably.
Yeah, my initial impression was that it hits Nesmith last, down by his knee.
I think it hits Brunson, then hits out of bounds, then hits Nesmith.
Okay, you may be right on that. There's a lot going on.
Yes.
But hey, if you can't figure it out in 30 seconds, you should just end it.
I agree. I mean, that's what I believe. That's why calls on the floor exist. Clear and conclusive.
Yeah, catch up on some of the stats while we wait here. 35 points for Halliburton, 14 to 24. He's 6 of 15 from the 3-point line, 5 assists, only had 1 in the first half. He's been more of a passer. Nembhard actually has not scored. All right, here, let's check it out.
So that bounces
Brunson
in.
hits it with his left hand there.
Oh, I think that hits. I think it's Brunson's hand, Nesmith's hand, and out.
So let's see. Brunson's going to hit it here. It does bounce out of bounds. Oh, I wish they would have just showed us that same thing again. Impossible to tell from that angle. Too blurry.
Hard. Enhance. Something that I think is remarkable for the shot charts. The Pacers have only taken 4 mid-range shots in this entire game compared to 11 for the Knicks.
Yeah, what are the shooting percentages at the rim as we get another look at this? Actually, let's take that first. So, yeah, maybe Nesmith's right hand hits it afterwards, and then it bounces out of bounds, and then it doesn't matter who it hits after that. So yeah, I do think. So did it not hit Nesmith's hand after that? What angle did they have that showed that? I thought it hit its hand. Do you disagree?
I agree with you. From the shot charts, 16 of 27 in the restricted area for the Pacers, 12 of just 18 for the Knicks.
Oh, so maybe this shows it?
Oh, I don't think it hit Nesmith.
Yeah. Okay.
That was the angle we wanted the whole time.
It sure was close.
It hits Nesmith's knee, but it hits Nesmith's knee after it's already bounced out of bounds.
Right. Yeah, it's that first touch. But I mean, how many people fumbled the ball in like about a second long
Mhm.
period?
And again, that's a pretty low upside challenge because it's not like you're taking a foul off the board or anything like that.
Yeah, one nice thing about doing the VPN is like you actually get to watch all the replays with us rather than uh which yeah, I forget that you guys aren't all watching the same thing we are. You might just be watching a commercial on TV or something. So Pacers will start it out here with a 1-4 set. They've got 11 to shoot. Yeah, it looks like these will be your closing lineups for both teams. They've got Hart guarding Turner, and they've got Hartenstein on Siakam. Halliburton moving off the ball, wants to run the hand back game with Siakam. DiVincenzo goes down. Turner is in the corner. Here's Siakam fading away over McBride.
Siakam never saw Nembhard in the corner.
Yeah, it was just too slow of a decision there by him. He could have gone right at McBride. He could have passed the ball to either corner. No, you still need to pay for League Pass as well, in addition to using the VPN. Indiana by 1. They want to go at Halliburton and pick and roll. Nesmith, good job getting back in front. No advantage there. They'll run another screen now. Nesmith still in front of Brunson. Brunson going to work again. Tough fader to his left. Great job getting to a spot there. He had to rush it a little bit more than he would against Nembhard, but he's found his rhythm now. I think going against Nembhard, he just had so much confidence he could get to a spot, and Nesmith has a little more length and athleticism, so it took him a bit. And also, it seems like that foot is loosened up on him a little. He's got a little bit more ability. Here's Siakam down the lane, and that will be a blocking foul. Brunson came over that time to take it.
And there are no Knicks challenges left, though I thought this was a correctly called blocking foul live. Snapshot. He slides over, but he's there. When Siakam takes off, he's not close. Like, the league doesn't call the snapshot perfectly, in my opinion, but he's taking off right there.
He's not close to there in my opinion, and he's also never gets fully in his path either. But more of the dreaded foul line for Siakam, starting to find a little bit of a rhythm. This is good. He's been only taking 3 or 4 a game. As here we'll watch Brunson get to the spot against Aaron Nesmith, gets the forearm into his torso, and that's how he creates the space. So now to give the Pacers the lead, did he learn to take his time at the foul line from Giannis? Is that who he's emulating? You might want to emulate someone else. But Siakam has been good, and they've given him more chances here. They trap Brunson, now get out of it. Nesmith trying to go for the steal. No foul. Nesmith bothering him and finally commits a foul from behind. And they'll be interested to see whether this is a shooting foul or not. Are they in the bonus anyway? Yeah, they are.
They are. So
yeah,
I guess
where did they call it? Could they challenge this?
They could. I think Nesmith gets ball there.
Didn't see a ton. I mean, this could be free throws. Is Rick going to do it? He's only got one timeout left, so here it comes. This has been a rather disjointed last few. So yeah, that's a foul.
There's body contact with Nesmith's left arm on Brunson. We'll see if they say that's sufficient or more.
We shall see indeed. James Caper has been doing a good job of these explanations. I am fascinated to see how this one ends up because let's see, how does he lose it here? This is our first look at this baseline.
So I think the right arm swing is clean. It's Nesmith's left arm that is the real question here.
Yeah, that's good. I think this is Well, so whose ball would it even be? It's probably be a jump ball, right? Does anyone recover this afterwards? So I think Tyrese maybe even gets a hand in first. Yeah, it's loose. Maybe he hits his arm a little bit after it's already loose. Yeah, this would be the second to last time out for the Pacers if they lose the challenge.
Is this the Pacers? This is their first challenge of the game?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't win one earlier.
I don't recall them winning one.
Yeah, so he does foul him up top for sure. Yeah, so are they going to get him on that left arm being in there? That is enough to sustain it in theory, but that's also kind of been more considered marginal contact in the second half of the season. But if there's any justice, he's hacking him about 5 times before he even tries his drive, and there's no call. So yeah, so what happens to the ball? It just goes out of bounds. So they got to figure. There we go. Okay, there we go. That's another one of those ones where clear and convincing evidence. I mean, if my goal is to find something to uphold that call, I could probably do it.
Especially if you're allowed to look out a slight, like quarter second outside of the frame of that contact.
If you're looking fresh, and that's, I mean, so then it hits Brunson, and then it hit Turner after that, but it's dead at that point. There wasn't like a clear recovery, and Knicks get that tip. Indiana by 1. They want to go after Halliburton again. They haven't really gotten much out of this other than just some dummy movement. Brunson trying to draw fouls. Now gets in on Nesmith. Halliburton helped off McBride. McBride rims out that 3. Pacers dodging a bullet there. Halliburton looking to be moving slightly better, but the status of that ankle for the next game will be in question, of course. Siakam can't make contact on the screen, then sets an illegal one, and DiVincenzo didn't fall down. Siakam going to try Hartenstein one-on-one. Goes to the jumper over him, and it's short. Not much of a possession there. Nesmith looked to get hit in the face. Nembhard has to pick up. Beautiful pass by Brunson, and that's surely a foul on Siakam, and it is.
Yeah, Siakam got Josh Hart twice there on the drive.
Beautiful pass by Brunson to take advantage of Nembhard picking him up, and then he just gets Hart on the move. There's too much confusion by the Pacers. Siakam thought maybe he was going to pick up Brunson, and instead Nembhard does, so Siakam clubs him, and that's, at least he fouled him good to not let him get an and one.
Yeah, not like there were a couple of, I think at least one of them was Obi Toppin, bad fouls in transition early in the game where you did nothing to stop the play and give up the free throw.
Hart. Oh, he rimmed out the first free throw.
Not the first Josh Hart missed free throw in crunch time of these playoffs.
Yeah, now Hart looking to tie it. And we should have a freer flowing end here. I guess the Pacers do still have 2 timeouts left after winning the challenge.
Yeah, and that's Siakam's 5th. Let me see if anybody else. Nembhard has 5, I know.
They go back to Siakam,
Hart has
back. Halliburton, Siakam, corner, Turner. Good close down by Brunson. Turner looking to get off the ball. They move it. Flip the angle of the screen. Siakam tries to get out of it. He got caught in the air. The jump pass didn't work. Here's Hart. Blocked from behind by Turner. No goaltend was called. Here's Halliburton on the push. He's got Siakam running it. Couldn't get it to him. Nembhard's going to drive here. Siakam held the shit out of Hartenstein on the backside, and it wasn't called.
Yeah, it's a Gortat, but the Gortat is just grabbing.
I'd love to see that block at some point. It looked good live. Now they send someone to go after Brunson, and they trip him. Awful. He'll shoot free throws. Just another atrocious Indiana Pacers mistake.
Now, hopefully we get to see the block now.
But I mean, that is just not good enough from Halliburton. You can't, if you're going to go double, your number one job is you don't let him out of the trap on your side.
No, we're never going to see that block again, are we?
I suppose not. Maybe between the free throws. I mean, I think. Oh wow, that was spectacularly short. I mean, Brunson. This has been. Here we go. Ooh, if that one on the Maxey play,
I think
like
that's
that
clean.
angle you can't tell, but that was like very similar to the one on Maxey. Oh, Brunson hits that one. Indiana's clinging to a 1-point lead. Halliburton rejects the screen into the corner. Turner. Nembhard has all day. DiVincenzo was exhausted, couldn't get out there. It's kept alive. Halliburton on the drive. Stepping around Brunson. Missed the layup. Tipped out. Pacers have it again. Halliburton going to try one more time with Siakam. Comes off the screen. Siakam on the roll. Corner Nembhard gets the three-pointer off. No. And Turner can't get the rebound. DiVincenzo is exhausted right now. Knicks could take the lead here. Brunson going at Nembhard. He's been his plaything in this series. Around him, layup. No, too long. Nobody can score. They're getting great looks. Now Siakam attacks. He gets stopped. Is that a goaltend? It is. They're going to review it. And Siakam, incredible stamina by him. One of the best conditioned players in the NBA to still have enough to push it down. And it was, in fact, a goaltend. Here's Brunson going to just try one-on-one against Nesmith. They don't double team. He'll pull back to tie. What a shot!
Oh!
That's the shot he makes after the missed free throw and the layup. Pacers got to get the 2-for-1 here. They should have called timeout. Halliburton on the attack. He's got Siakam open. He'll take the three. That's off the heel. Tipped out Nesmith. 17-second differential here.
One shot each side.
Hartenstein on him. Can he break free? They want to keep him off the right hand. They come to the double team. Late clock. Nembhard's going to have to create against Brunson. He steps back from 30. That's good. What a ridiculous game. Timeout, Knicks. Andrew Nembhard. That's his first field goal of the game on a step back 30-footer with no time on the shot clock to give Indiana a 3-point lead with 16.4.
Absolutely unreal. One other part of this, of course, we'll talk about in the pod. Jalen Brunson is 1 for 5 on twos in this fourth quarter.
They send the double here, perfectly timed. Brunson comes up. Nembhard has to just take a step back. A step back from 30. What did they say that was?
30.
30 feet. A 30-foot step back. Brunson couldn't even believe he shot that.
Yeah.
Those are the two worst shots that anyone has taken over the last 3 minutes, and those are the ones that go in.
Incredible.
So this is now a chance to see if Indiana is going to foul with 16.4. The Knicks are a good rebounding team.
But the Knicks are also now out of timeouts.
Yes.
I would foul.
This would be earlier than normally they would go to it. We saw Tom Thibodeau go to it very early after the Game 5 debacle to prevent the Sixers from getting one up in Game 6. So do they inbound it and go for an immediate three? They don't really have a guy who can just rise up for a three off the catch. DiVincenzo shoots it, but he's more of a set shot. They're going to put Nembhard on him. Shepard is in. They take out Halliburton. They've got McConnell in too. They're going to try to get Brunson open here. Turner steps out. Brunson throws it up. Left it short. Pacers have it, and they are fouled. And that, if they can make one of these, will surely be the end. Brunson thought he got fouled on the arm. Let's see if he is. Great job by Turner here getting out. I
No one
didn't see
touched him.
much. Yeah, that was pretty good defense to me without fouling. I think
Maybe a little from Nembhard.
He said Nembhard got him from behind there, but that also would not have been a shooting foul.
I mean, with the way they've called some of them in the series, maybe, but I don't think so.
Yeah, it's quite possible that Nembhard got him on the arms. So Nesmith hit 2 huge free throws at the end of Game 3 of the Bucks series. And he was a great shooter in college, makes both of those. Knicks now with no timeouts. They got to push it up. They double team. Brunson will go right in. Kicks out. DiVincenzo on the move. Ridiculous shot. Almost made it. And that's going to do it.
And so
Indiana survives. What a ridiculous final minute of shot making. And yeah, we're going to have a lot to talk about tonight, I think. This is. So anything else to say on that one? I'm going to just grab myself a tea real quickly, but I will. If there's anything else you want to weigh in on quickly before I go.
Well, I could talk about this after you leave. You can go ahead now. Because it looks like we're getting close to player introductions in Minnesota. I'm guessing this is going to be a very amped crowd. One of the important things for me in Game 3 was both teams having really tired legs and the Knicks just missing a ton of shots from 2 that they would normally make during that fourth quarter. Overall, the Knicks in the fourth quarter, they were 1 for 10 on 2s. 0 for 3 on corner 3s in the fourth quarter. I'm going to write that in my notes. Let's see. Did we post info on syncing? So, first of all, if you want to sync, playback is the thing that we recommend. If you use a VPN, then you can do that. But also, we have a YouTube link. You can go to Nate's page, or I can post a link here. And that now with their beta with playback, that has a timestamp in it, so it should be easier than it has really not ever been, because certain things are there. But using either of those technologies, you should be able to get pretty close to the pin. Oh, my camera's all messed up. There we go. Let's see. A prediction. Oof. I mean, I think we're going to get some of Denver's best, whatever's physically capable. With how well Minnesota played in games 1 and 2, I think Minnesota wins. That's going to be my prediction. I think Minnesota wins this, and it goes to 3-0. Line 3.5. Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, Minnesota's been the better team so far. I can't remember exactly what it's supposed to be in basketball, but I think I remember it being somewhere around like 2 or 3. So yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. And this is absolutely a game, I'm not saying this is like a 60-40 or anything like that. I think this is absolutely a game that Denver can win. But part of what has made games 1 and 2 so fascinating, beyond like we'll see what Jamal Murray we get, is that the things that Minnesota did well and that are really they're harder to beat and harder to improve upon for Denver than a normal like play better adjustment. And so we'll see what happens. But yeah, my prediction would be Minnesota. And we are here with the tip.
All right, I barely finished my protein bar before it started. Needed some extra fuel after that one. So we start off here. Wolves trying to fly around. There's an offensive rebound, which they've done none of, but they can't go up with it due to that Wolves length. KCP has to take the mid-ranger, and that opens the scoring. But once again, I would say the biggest thing that you look at is look at how hard the makes are for Denver. McDaniel's got the open above the break three. He's a little more comfortable in the corners. Edwards is on Murray, and that's the first one of those, I would say, of the series for Jamal Murray actually just blowing by his man, rejecting the screen. That keeps him a little more honest, and then they throw it away. That's another thing where the Wolves have largely avoided turnovers in these playoffs. That was the biggest Achilles heel to their offense. They were trying to reestablish this Murray-Jokic two-man game early, and they'll just switch it. I'm not sure whether, as Murray misses that one, this is interesting. I think they are actually trying to switch it. They've done that twice already. Towns has KCP. They're going to go into a 4-5 pick and roll here. And what do we have? Just a little push on KCP. That's a classic Tony Brothers call. Not the ref I want to see for this game. He loves the ticky-tack calls out top. Here's Edwards off the screen, and he opens the scoring for Minnesota. Yeah, and they are actually having Gordon bring it up. John and I talked about that as a possibility of something they might do to relieve the pressure. Jokic finding Gordon. He'll take it with no hesitation. That was the same thing they tried at the beginning of game 2, is to get him to be more of a threat. They load towards Edwards. Towns will take the three. Oh, yeah. Just made him pay there. That's something that Jokic and, of course, Tony Brothers is going to call that.
And a Tony Brothers refereed game is very bad news for Karl Anthony Towns' foul trouble overall. Let's see, who's bad for it? It's bad for Towns. It's bad for KCP because KCP gets a little handsy, and potentially Jaden McDaniels. And all of us, of course.
Jokic at the elbow. Murray tries to break free. Again, Jokic is laying the wood on these screens, too, and they're going to get a dunk out of it. That all starts, though, because Jokic obliterated Anthony Edwards on that screen. Recall at the beginning of game 1, Anthony Edwards is getting through all those. Towns, they switch Murray onto him. He tries to find Conley on the cut. They leave Conley. Terrible miscommunication. McDaniels flies in, but it goes over his head. Porter Jr. has to get picked up by Gobert. They should move the ball here. Now he's going to try a one-on-one. This is so fucking stupid. Move the ball. You've got Gobert on their best shooter. Now they do move it, and they get a 3 out of it.
Yeah, and the miscommunication, you have somebody who's not necessarily involved in those kind of actions, and get wide open 3.
They try Murray and pick and roll, pick and pop Towns over Murray, and Towns is 2 for 2. Wolves, all 9 of their points coming from beyond the arc.
And something I'm liking from Towns is the first one of those was like a couple steps behind the 3-point line. Guys who are strong enough with their legs, they can shoot it without having to modify their motion there. There it is.
God. Oh my God. Like, what a fucking phantom call. Was Towns second there?
No, that was McDaniel.
Oh, it was McDaniel somewhere else? Okay. I was looking at Towns.
It was still a bad call, but it was on McDaniel.
I didn't see exactly where it was. Yeah, Jokic. So clearly the impetus is for Denver to toughen up and get more physical here early. Jokic going to the Sombor shuffle over Gobert. Good rebound by Towns. Gobert sets the step-up screen. Here's Conley. Finds Gobert. Gobert should have passed it to Edwards. Instead, he goes right at Jokic, but he missed it. Jokic throwing it ahead. Beautiful Euro step.
Oh!
Checked it off the backboard by Edwards. Nuggets are back, though. Porter Jr. communicates. Here's Towns. Goes to his left. Up to Gobert. No, a foul on Aaron Gordon before. And again, like, just not a need for that call to me. Like, he got by him. Everything's okay. Look at this block, though. Like, that is just such easy bounce. He didn't even have to bend his knees. He just pops off the ground. Edwards gets the Towns screen and the Gobert screen. He sought out Aaron Gordon as the guy he wants to go after. Now Gobert sets it. They're in a deep drop. And we're going to get a defensive 3 seconds on Jokic.
A little bit of exasperated Jokic there. Wasn't tracking him enough to see whether that was the correct call.
I think it was, yeah. He was not really within arm's length of anyone. So they are really keeping Jokic back on the pick and roll here early. They brought him out on the floor more in previous games. Conley off the Gobert screen. This time, Jokic is further on the floor. They changed that up. Open 3, McDaniels. That misses. Double screen being set to involve Conley. They don't get anything out of it. Edwards goes under that time on Murray. And another just like ticky-tack trip. I mean, how many like bullshit foul calls on the perimeter has that been already?
Well, there are 5 foul calls, and I believe that's 5. The KCP one definitely was. The McDaniels one was. The Towns one was. The Ant one was. Aaron Gordon's I can't remember well enough. That's the only one The Aaron
Gordon was, absolutely.
Okay, so then I think that's 5 for 5. And the Wolves are handsier defensively than the Nuggets are, so that if the game continues to be called that way and given this crew, I think it will, that's meaningful advantage Denver. Among the remaining teams, which player who has not yet won a championship would you most like to see win one? Alaskan Assassin's vote is for Mike Conley. I'd love to see Mike Conley win a championship. He's been a favorite of mine for a really long time. I remember seeing him in person when he played at Ohio State. I was at that crazy Greg Oden game in the Final Four and thinking that Conley was awesome too. And so Conley's the first guy I think of. He's an intensely well-regarded teammate as well. But there are there'd be a lot of great stories, a lot of wonderful winners overall. I mean, it'd be a great story for Anthony Edwards to be the best player in the championship team, or Shea or somebody like that. But the older vet who has never won one, who's been a good player for a long time, that's one of my favorites. think the winner of this series wins it all. They'll have a good chance, but I mean, whoever wins this series is going to have to face a strong opponent in the Western Conference Finals and presumably a strong Finals opponent as well. So, I would say if you could narrow the field to like winner of the, I think the winner of this would be my plurality, like most likely winner, but not like by a ton. Who does this start favor? Who's looking better? The start favors Denver because of the officiating. Who's looking better? I would say it's been pretty neutral. I don't think either side's gotten like way better or worse looks, but it is nice that Jamal Murray's looked a little better physically. I think that does really help. It's a good sign for Denver.
I think a lot of people felt like Denver just didn't bring the requisite physicality and effort, and they are trying to do that. I think, and when teams are willing to get into you, like really laying the wood on screens is kind of what you have to do. And there's a lot of that Jokic Murray 2-man game. A lot of times they don't really make that much contact on the screens. They try to slip out of it. They try to get you going one way, do a quick hand back or something. And I think they decided like, no, like we got to get like this all starts by Jamal Murray getting his man off of them and getting open, and then we can play out of that. I try that little 5-4 pick and roll. Now Murray on the drive. He shoots the floater. Gobert intimidated that one. He took away the dunk. Murray missed the floater. Here's Edwards, another three-pointer. He's been quiet early. That one wasn't close.
I would have liked for Towns to have passed that ball earlier. He wasn't pushing it hard enough.
Now they get some transition. And McDaniels just stops Jokic in his tracks.
Yeah, that was really nice work by McDaniels, being able to slow Jokic down without committing any sort of foul, even with this crew. And then Gobert was over there to help too.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to fix the stream. It didn't work. I'll send a message. Yeah, so that'll be 2 on McDaniels. He's the first casualty to the way this game is being called. There will surely be others.
And Nickeil Alexander-Walker, unsurprisingly, looks like he's going to be the guy who comes in here. Alexander Walker's been phenomenal so far in the series.
Alexander Walker, the first sub of the game. Here's Conley going to his left. Tough one. And Jokic on the floor. It's interesting. The Conley pick and rolls, Jokic has been on the floor. He has not been out on the floor for some of these other ones. Let's see if that continues. Jokic finding Gordon moving without the ball and the tough fadeaway. But, I mean, that's just the difference with the Wolves, right? Like, Aaron Gordon cutting into the lane on a Jokic drive is a dunk usually.
Yeah, and there were 2 guys standing between Gordon and the basket, so he takes that weird mid-ranger.
Yeah, and my feeling after game 2 was that Denver was just going to need to play better defensively, and that's how they were going to get back into this series. That sure, they could play better offensively and shoot a little bit better, but that's really the main thing. Here's Reed. No, stolen. Good pressure by Porter Jr. And he stopped from behind by Reed, but a foul.
It looked like Reed caught him on the forearm.
Wow, that guy's got some amazing executive style hair on the left.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Ethan Kaysen? You ever read about him in like all of the like before Conley got there and before A-Rod, it was always, oh, like Ethan Kaysen is like the new business guy with the Wolves. And like when Gerson Rosas was falling out of favor, he's like, oh, he's really modernizing the organization. I'm like, that would be like the exact way that I envisioned Ethan Kaysen to look based on those news stories. Here's Gobert. Easy one that time. They had Jokic a little further up, and Gobert gets behind the defense easily in that open side. Malone can't be pleased with that. Gordon not going to take that three. Reed defended Jokic exceedingly well. They want to get Jokic guarded by Gobert. Jokic backing in, goes to the turning hook, and rimmed it out. Edwards has Porter Jr. on him, gets the drag from Gobert, throws it up to him, didn't get it high enough. That pass was there, but it was too low. Jokic trying to post up. Gobert gets back behind him, but Porter Jr. left open, and still Nuggets can't get anything on the offensive glass. Rare you see Jokic get his hands on a ball and not control it. Reed slips out of there. Now it'll be the Conley-Gobert pick and roll. Conley on the blow-by, but can't get that to fall. A lot of fast breaks here by both teams that haven't quite worked out. Conley has to pick up Jokic. He'll back down. Flare screen for KCP set in rhythm, and Denver can't get a bucket. Here's Porter Jr. into Gobert.
I thought Gordon might have been able to, might have pushed him in the back there, but it was hard to see from our angle.
Now Conley off the screen. They go weak side. Edwards. Closed down by Porter Jr. That's the right pass to Conley, but Porter Jr. stayed with him as well, and Conley hits the floor. That's actually a pretty good play by Porter Jr. to stop the Edwards drive and run Conley off the line, and that floater is one you probably just got to live with. Murray had that early bucket, but hasn't done anything since then. Jokic, again, just completely laid the wood on Alexander Walker to open that up. Alexander Walker tried to flop down, so they only call fouls on the ball that are ticky-tack, not on screens. Now Reed going right around Jokic. You saw Jokic. Why is Jokic like stepping up like he's going to take a charge? Like what he's good at is using his hands to kind of disrupt. Again, they really want to try to get Gobert guarding Jokic, it seems like, in the post. They've been setting a lot of 4-5 screens. Jokic plunges into Gobert, and I can't say that I saw a single thing that Rudy Gobert did there.
That is the 6th foul called on the Minnesota Timberwolves so far. McDaniels is the only guy with 2 individual fouls, though.
Yeah, that's an insane call. Jokic, he's coming out here and he's just hitting people with his arms as hard as he can right now. Like he did it twice on that possession, and somehow Gobert gets called for the foul. Yeah, Gobert going to sit down, and Towns is coming back too. They're going to go Anderson. Is he out or is he at the 3? Yeah, it looks like they're going with him at the 3. Conley will rest also. So not much shooting on. Well, I shouldn't say that actually, no, because they got Towns and they got Reed. This is an interesting lineup as Jokic misses the free throw. Alexander Walker, Wolves just taking too long to get into anything here. Now they're going to look to post up Reed against Watson. Or sorry, that's Holiday, excuse me. He backs him down, and Murray had a nice dig to help force a turnover, and it'll be a shot clock violation.
I don't think it makes much of a difference. I think that ball actually went out of bounds before the shot clock would have expired, but it wouldn't have been by very much. So the shot chart so far, Minnesota, it's very Morey ball. They've taken 4 shots in the restricted area and then 1 2-pointer not in the restricted area so far. And that one was, was it was in the upper paint to do that. And as opposed to Denver, 3 shots in the restricted area, and then they're 2 of 9 on twos away from the basket. Malone not going with Reggie Jackson early.
Yeah, but what was the injury report for him, by the way? Is he ostensibly totally available?
Let me look at that. See if I can find it.
I tried to look it up earlier and it just wasn't loading for some reason, and I forgot to go back.
Left calf contusion available.
Okay. Contusion, huh? Okay. All right. Is for those of you talking about our volume, is my volume or Danny's particularly low, or is it both?
Okay, most people are saying it's okay.
All right. Thanks.
And I mean, Jamal Murray's playing well, and they don't need to. I mean, they haven't gone to Reggie Jackson, but Jamal Murray being out there, I think they're going to kind of give him his run here. Oh, that's nice note from Moo that refreshing the stream can sometimes rebalance the audio. That's something worth trying.
Okay, there you go.
With all the talk about the Nuggets missing Bruce Brown, was there a plausible move either at the offseason or deadline that you wanted Denver to make? It would have been really hard for them. That is one of the perils of being a second apron team, is that when you lose somebody, you can't really replace them. It's a part of why the Suns extended Grayson Allen early. It's so, like, I mean, they maybe could have done a little bit better on the minimum market, but they didn't really have any other kind of like team building tools that I think they really missed out on.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There really just wasn't anyone available I thought was going to make a difference. And the greater problem for them is the lack of matching salary.
Sure.
But they would have to trade one of their 5 main guys. Their highest paid guy outside of that was Jackson, making $5 million.
Yeah, and then the coming year it'll be Zeke Naji, and that's contract is kind of, I think it's probably too long to you. And I mean, also remember that the new rules for second apron teams, you can't add, like, it's not only that you can't aggregate on your side, it's also that you can't take on any more money than the guy you're trading out. So it's gonna be hard to make moves.
Yeah, neither team has got much going offensively here, but Denver has played better on D. And Murray, he's just attacking harder. I love that. I love seeing that right there. Oh, you want to pressure me in the backcourt? I'm just fucking go right by you to the basket. Edwards off the screen. Good late contest there by KCP. And Jokic with the rebound. They are not pressuring Jokic full court. And there's a play by Edwards in the passing lanes. Yeah, but he's just playing with more force. And this is very encouraging from the Nuggets here early, that they are summoning another level of aggressiveness and force right now. Jokic looking to back down. Watch that off arm. He throws it immediately. Oh, his Holiday just passed up that three. He should have taken it. Instead, he'll drive. He's stopped from behind, but Jokic's right there, and it'll be a goaltend on Reed. Don't love that pass up there by Holiday, though.
And so this is a good little push for the Denver Nuggets here. It's a 5-0 run since the timeout, I believe. 4-0.
Yeah, Wolves had bludgeoned them at the rim. That's not taking place so far. Alexander Walker, they go under on him. He takes the three on the move. Nickeil Alexander-Walker has just been so solid at both ends in this postseason. Now Edwards going to try to heat up the ball on Murray, and that time his attempt to get past him didn't really work. We'll see whether he can maintain this level of intensity throughout. They get him in rotation off the double team on Jokic. Murray trying to work Towns. Goes to the tough fade and scores.
Another confident Jamal Murray shot.
Jokic is hiding out on Anderson. They're doing a better job on Edwards here, too. Here's Reed. Towns flies in, and he's going to... No, he didn't get a foul call. Wow, that was remarkable. Out to the corner. Here's a three from Holiday, and Justin Holiday has really struggled at times in his career to make shots. If he had shot like this for the Dallas Mavericks last year, he probably would still be a Dallas Maverick. Edwards looking to back down. Good pressure there by Holiday. Nice rotation off the weak side. Yeah, again, no Reggie Jackson yet. Murray has gone this entire quarter, and that's got to be a foul on Holiday, and it is. He wrapped up Edwards on the offensive glass.
To me, this has been very stagnant Minnesota offensive process without Mike Conley on the floor. Like, they're just kind of going a little bit station to station. Not a lot going on ball or off ball.
Well, and I've liked the way that the Nuggets are rotating off harder from one shooters. They are going to get Jackson in now, I guess, for just a quick rest for Murray. This is longer than Murray would normally go. But the Nuggets have been more aggressive rotating off of the next pass and trying to force Minnesota to beat them with their passing. Towns looking to post up. They send the double quick. Edwards on the drive goes right in, and Jokic, he's got to step up harder than that.
Jokic is guarding it. Jokic is guarding Kyle Anderson there.
Yeah,
you have to your commitment to stop the ball.
Yeah, I mean, all right, you want to step up. He goes around you, fine, but you can't just not move. Reed switching on to Jackson. Now they want to post Jokic. He bludgeons in and laid it in. Too late. Anderson, he's like, hey, I turned him. Where's the help? They throw it ahead. Towns can't make the catch, and hopefully they'll just let it go, and they do.
Yeah. Towns not quite Chet Holmgren on that last play of the quarter.
BRB.
Holiday over Christian Brown. I think that makes some reasonable sense. Holiday's had some good moments in this series. He can be a more stable defender. And I mean, his jump shot has been, I would say, more consistent overall. I am not Nate, but I'll take my version of the answer to the question from Mark about basically how this series makes you feel about the questions about Jokic and winning a title. So we already know that Jokic's defense can be good enough for them to win a championship. That part of it, even if last year was the high watermark relative to this year. But I also think that through 2 games of the series, that has been a problem, but it hasn't necessarily been the problem. It's that Denver's offense hasn't been quite good enough. So the conceit that both Nate and I got wrong originally, that is still wrong. The Jokic can be good enough defensively for a team to win a championship with him. And it does mean they have to have a really good offense, and broadly speaking, Jokic teams have. So I think that they can. So the idea pre-2023 was still wrong, but the threshold being high is absolutely a fair criticism. That's like, you need to be an awesome offense, and when they're not an awesome offense, they're very beatable. And yeah, that's the case. And yeah, the playoff defense for Jokic has been worse than his standard. And somebody asked if it's not still the first quarter. First quarter just ended. This has been a long first quarter so far. Oh, it might be. So is that maybe somebody's asking because of the YouTube? We'll see what we can do. But yeah, if the timestamp sync is off, we'll see what we can do. When Nate gets back, I'll mention it to him. How would you rank the Holiday brothers as NBA players? Drew 1 is pretty easy. It's so funny because like people, I've never been the biggest Aaron Holiday believer. I think that he's a backup point guard who isn't really great at running an offense. So I would go Drew, Justin, Aaron. And one of my favorite random things like that, and this is one of those things that because I cared a lot about college recruiting at that point and was connected with the schools involved, is that there is an understanding, correct or incorrect, but almost overwhelmingly correct, that University of Washington recruited Justin Holiday in no significantly because they wanted him to get Drew, both of whom, close play to Cable Hall and everything like that. They get Justin. Drew's a one and done. Justin actually contributes more to the University of Washington than you could argue Drew does in his 1 year to UCLA. So it actually worked out pretty well for UW. Runs for Romar at that time. Since you've been covering the NBA, which players have exceeded your expectations the most since they came into the league? That's a good question. So what's hard about it is that's around when I started really getting into the NBA is when I stopped doing as much draft work. So an answer could be Devin Booker, but I didn't scout Devin Booker as a college prospect. So I didn't really have those kinds of expectations for him. Shea is a good one though.
Yeah, sorry about the sync issues on YouTube, by the way, with the sometimes I have an issue through playback. I may try to fix that at halftime, but I maybe by just restarting the stream. So Brown is in now. They're going with and they're not playing Peyton Watson at all. Murray setting up Holiday in the corner again, and Justin Holiday, a corner three. Denver is now up 11. They are rolling a little bit, but it really has started on the defensive end. Reed on the go and catch, goes right in, and Porter Jr. came over to disrupt him just enough. McDaniels with the 2 fouls picking up Murray. Gordon looking to set a screen. Murray will pull the 3, and he lasers it in. 2 straight threes by Denver to start the non-Jokic minutes.
And Jamal Murray, 5 of 7 from the field.
It's fantastic to see a response like this from him, at least early on. Towns, he bludgeons his way in, but they'll say no on the floor, according to Josh Tiven. But again, a good screen for Jamal Murray makes all the difference there. They are laying the wood on these. It's not getting called, but they're not worrying about as Towns gets a nice little off-ball screen. And Towns is on fire in this series. That's just such a hard play to deal with when you get a screen out of the corner for a big man by a small guy, but they can both shoot. Because you don't want to switch it. You go under, the guy will bang the 3. If you just try to trail, then he can get a cut into the lane. Murray one-on-one here, going to back into Alexander Walker. Goes to the impossible fadeaway. That one was too much.
Yeah, I thought that was really...
Porter Jr. is just going to get a cheapie here, I guess, holding him going up court. Sorry, go ahead, Danny.
I thought Nickeil Alexander-Walker set that up with a really good piece of screen navigation. He dropped a little bit below, but not far enough that he really lost contact. Murray couldn't pull that shot. And was able to stay close enough to contact. Then Murray had to kind of do the back down move.
Double high for Conley here, then the flare. They got to switch that. Now Reed has Braun at the elbow. Holiday trying to get in his grill. Reed goes away from that. Left hand. No, he's missed a couple of cheapies here. Now Porter Jr., no one got back in front of him. Towns blocks it from behind, but that's to be a third, I believe, on McDaniels. McDaniels can't believe it, but I kind of can.
I thought I saw some contact there. I would like to see a replay. Michael Porter Jr., these are going to be his 5th and 6th free throws of the game. Minnesota has only taken 1 so far. And so McDaniels coming out, Kyle Anderson coming in, Aaron Gordon coming out. And so the non-Jokic minutes, 8-3 for the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah. Also noteworthy, Wolves 3 of 7 at the rim right now.
And not all of those misses were Naz Reid.
Alexander Walker working with Towns. Now Conley. Step up by Anderson. They swing it. Good job by Porter. Oh, man. Are they going to... Jesus Christ. Just, like, these calls are such trash.
At least they're being semi-consistent with it, but I guess
like,
that's...
What year is this? I guess it's...
I mean, you can ask me that question now. I'm not even 100% sure. But...
What month is this more accurately? That I actually probably don't know. Anderson up top. Conley now into the lane. Sets up Anderson on the nice floater, but another miss in the paint by the Wolves. Anderson trying to get more pressure on Jokic, but that was pretty easy to bring it up. Now he's going to work into position. Double team comes. He swings it to Brown. Not a threat from there. Jokic moving well without the ball, setting up KCP, who's hit a couple of tough mid-rangers. Gobert is at the table. It seems like so much has transpired already as here's Edwards back in. He blows past Jokic as well. Yeah, if they can get Edwards going downhill at Jokic has been effective against some guys in these last couple of playoffs. Anthony Edwards is not scared of him, like swiping down with the ball.
That was another big screen.
Yeah, and they're going to get a layup out of that. And I think if I were Chris Finch or Mike Adori, I would get a technical foul on one of these screens because Jokic is being extremely physical. I think you need to call the referee's attention to that. There's Conley wide open three. Well, still getting pretty good shots, I would say, here in the second, and just largely not making them. Murray, rescreen on Jokic, works around the baseline, and laid it in. With Gobert at the table, the Nuggets assaulting the rim right now, and they lead by 17. Championship-level response by the Denver Nuggets.
Is Gobert playing further back on ball screens than the Bigs last game? I think he is, but last game was a little bit different for Minnesota because of their personnel.
The most disappointed I've ever been by an NBA team. Is this in like a game context or like a season context? In a season. Certainly the 21-22 Lakers come to mind.
I mean,
yeah, a lot of these are due to injury, but
the that we never really got to see the KD, Kyrie, Harden Nets. That was one for me of modern vintage.
Yeah, well, and particularly because it was self-inflicted by Kyrie too. That's got to really be up there. That's absolutely got to be up there. This is going to be fun. Lakers.
That was my first thought. Was actually them.
Yeah, that's got to be up there. Trying to think of some other like disappointing teams. Yeah, Kawhi 2020s. I mean, well, yeah, just that era of Clippers basketball, which who knows whether it'll continue other than with Kawhi.
Hmm.
2019 Celtics. I mean, they won in the mid-50s that year, I think. Single game is pretty easy. That would be Game 7 of the 2022 second round, Phoenix against Dallas.
That's one. And then the other one I thought of was that Houston-San Antonio give-up game when Kawhi didn't even play.
I mean, those are the two, I would say those are the two most shocking NBA games that I can recall.
Jared Allen's fit on the Pelicans. He would help their defense a lot, but the fit with him and Zion offensively would take a lot of offensive creativity to make that work.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be better than him and JV.
I agree.
Because at least he would run the floor in transition. and he could run some 4 or 5 pick and rolls a little more easily.
And you need a center kind of like Jared Allen if they're intending to keep Ingram and Zion together. Then having a center who can do those things is good because you're not getting enough supplemental rim protection from Ingram and Zion, and so you kind of want, in some ways, more of a traditional guy.
Yeah, Dan notes that Celtics team went in 2019 went 49-33. It seemed like they had like a bunch of injuries, but yeah, they're showing this. I like that this is what they're focused on here, is this Jamal Murray aggressiveness. And yeah, there's a good note, as was pointed out in the comments, that they haven't played since Monday.
True. Yeah, and somebody said, like, does the winner of this game win the series? And I don't think this is one of those games at all necessarily. Like, yeah, I guess if Minnesota wins the game, they're winning the series because no one's ever come back from 3-0. But Denver could absolutely win this game and not win the series.
Yeah. And I think Minnesota's still getting pretty good shots. Will it be more even? I mean, even that was a pretty good shot by Towns against a smaller player in the lane. Murray. And there's another. See, Jokic is just setting these monster screens. Look at these screens if you're watching just how far these guys are getting knocked off by Jokic. Towns backing down. Goes right through Holiday. And no, he just lost it. It was taken away.
I didn't think there was a foul there either.
Yeah, I couldn't really see it well enough personally.
Wait, are they really doing this?
Yeah, making the game smaller. Like we can hear what he's saying just fine without seeing his face. There's a little screen for Jokic stepping out. Anderson brings it up. They are switching anything that doesn't involve Jokic right now. Here's a 3 from Edwards. He's been quiet. Towns goes for the rebound, but good effort, knocked it out of bounds. There's also maybe one where you might just not do it because you could pick up a cheap foul.
That also was Gobert being guarded by Justin Holiday in the post. They didn't pursue it.
Jokic, right elbow, backdoor. They finally get a system play, and they're going to lead to this. A 3 from Brown, and he cashes out. That's a huge shot for him. Huge shot for the Nuggets. Gobert does take that away, but I like that they still... So I think some of these times, they're like, well, Gobert's there. We shouldn't throw it to the guy on the back door, but they throw it. You still collapse the defense, and you can set something up, even if that guy can't score directly.
Nice back
Flare screen second by Gobert. Oof. Anderson. Gobert did well to tip it out. Now he'll set the screen for Conley. Conley goes right at Jokic. Jokic blocked it. Gobert, easy flip over the head. And they're going to get a trip in the backcourt on Anthony Edwards. And that is our 97th foul for contact on the perimeter.
Though, fortunately for Minnesota, it's only their second of the quarter.
So they're hiding Gobert out on Christian Brown right now. Holiday looking to get it to Jokic. Murray. Has Murray sat at all?
Briefly.
Very briefly, for like 30 seconds. Oh, Reed, great hands again on Jokic. He's got him timed out well. Oh, that should be a transition take foul on Brown, but I guess he never actually made contact. And Edwards, again, once he gets downhill against this Nuggets team, they just don't have anyone to guard him. Alexander Walker picks up Murray, and they just didn't know who they were guarding. Big mistake, but KCP can't make him pay. Wide open 3, goes wanting. Trying to keep Conley in the middle of the floor. All right, he'll just take what the defense gives him. No problem. No problem at all.
And it's gone from 20 to 13. Nice little response here from the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, I said keep him out of the middle of the floor is what I meant to say, and so he just goes the other direction and shoots a 3. Not hard.
Alan says Trey Murphy would be great on the Magic. Yes, he would, but he'll also be great on the Pelicans, and I don't think the Pelicans are giving him up. There are a lot of different things that the Magic can do, and I don't think they're going to be considering this. But to me, I brought up the idea that I think they need a different initiator. I think they need a movement shooter and an initiator, and you can do that either by having one of those two players maybe not close every game for you, so you kind of bring in maybe a sixth man movement shooter type of thing. The other one, and I don't think they're going to seriously consider this, is just, do you need both Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero? And so the idea of potentially moving it. And then it's a more extreme version in certain ways of the Josh Giddey thing for OKC, where Wagner is a better player right now than Josh Giddey is, but they don't necessarily need everything that he brings when they upgrade on some of the things he brings.
Is Edwards the best athlete in the NBA now? John and I talked about that pretty extensively. I think we arrived at him. How far is he from LeBron? I would say far. LeBron, well, first of all, I mean, I consider just like strength and power to be part of athleticism.
Absolutely.
I mean, and LeBron just applied it so much. I mean, if you just compare the number of dunks that LeBron would have in an era where there was way less space and way less transition, by the way, to Ant, and it's no comparison. And LeBron, I would say, is way faster than Ant, just like sprinting in a straight line.
And he's so much bigger too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I saw LeBron, like not in person. Like, I mean, I remember the first time I saw him in person, just as a fan, but also in media. I'm like, the thing that people had said before is like, yeah, he's built like Karl Malone, but he's also the fastest guy in the league and one of the strongest too. It's preposterous.
The Edwards Wade comparison. Yeah, I mean, Wade was just a better dribbler, better natural passer. Now Wade came into the league at the age that Edwards is now, basically. So obviously Edwards is better than Wade his rookie year, though maybe not his second year. But Wade was just so slithery and just had a better knack for getting to the basket, better knack for finishing. Like that's like Edwards is as good as he is. He's not a natural. He's kind of like he picked up the sport late. Like his skill level is impressive, but he also is just not like, you know, a super reactive natural player the way Wade was. I mean, Wade is one of the best ball handlers ever at the two guard position, maybe the best. Yeah, quick 7-0 run by the Wolves has them looking a little bit better. I think they're refreshing the feed right now. It looks like we got it refreshed for the YouTubers as well. Great.
Yay!
Yeah, they're getting Murray a little bit of a break here, and Alexander Walker heating up the ball on Jackson. KCP at the elbow. We want to screen Porter. Now they screen Jokic. Jokic gets to his shot, and we're going to stay here first as our first foul in the screening action in the game goes against the defense, which I find a little funny. Alexander Walker ramps up the pressure again. Jackson backs up. Alexander Walker just immediately eats up that space. Oh, nice. And this is also something I talked about after game 2 of just and that was all set up right there. That was a specific play they ran to take advantage of the pressure so high on the floor that they could release someone off the switch. Edwards almost had it stolen by Jackson. Here's Gobert down the lane. He's going to just go right in on Porter Jr. And Porter Jr., yeah, he had his arm forward. He had to keep that up to avoid the foul.
And if you saw Gobert immediately after the foul was called, he pointed to Nickeil Alexander-Walker and gave him a little handshake because Gobert completely ignored him in the corner.
Yeah. As I was getting back to, though, it felt to me as though guys were open, cutting to the basket for Denver, and they just weren't. They were missing them. I think they saw that on the film. But moreover, they're also kind of running their actions further out, forcing the defense further on the floor if they want to pressure, and then they're able to get behind. And particularly if they can make Gobert be part of those screening actions, it's more useful. Edwards' pure leaping ability is the same class as LeBron. He's a different leaper. LeBron definitely better off of 1 foot. Edwards probably maybe one of the best I've ever seen off at 2. Shaden Sharp would be up there too. Gobert
Both
short on that free throw, missed them both. Jackson trying to push up against Conley. Gordon just returned. He sat for some time. And there again, they're going to get a hold before the shot, but just more cutting from the Denver Nuggets.
And credit to Reggie Jackson. He created a little bit of an advantage by just pushing the ball hard. It wasn't off of what it was off of a missed free throw, but just got a little bit there and drew, and they ended up getting a foul in the action.
5-4 pick and roll. Reed just grabbed the shirt of Gordon, and Jokic takes that shot. Yeah, that time they should have called the ticky-tack foul, but Denver, credit them restoring order here now with 4 quick points, although the 2 Gobert free throws helped. Conley going right. Missed it. Alexander Walker flew for the rebound, but he wasn't close to enough to draw a foul. Again, they're screening for Jokic, and Alexander Walker is going to get another foul in the screening action.
And I think that's 5 on Minnesota.
And I don't know that I mean, I don't think he's really impeding him in any way there.
It seems like a no call all around. Like, there's a lot of contact, but I don't think it was a lot of contact that was nefarious. And so even though this has been a lot of ticky-tack fouls, it hasn't produced that many free throws. These are 9 and 10 for Denver. Minnesota's only gotten 3, but also I don't think Minnesota's been fouled too much like around the basket or anything like that. I don't think their 3 is a sign of like the game being officiated not to their favor.
Well, and as much as we want to talk about the Denver offensive end, Minnesota has 32 points right now.
Sure. Yeah, that is a 91-4 offensive rating so far for Minnesota. 91-4, 79-4 in first shot half court.
Oh, I love that play out as Braun actually held up on defense. He got a hand on it. Jackson trying to be aggressive, and a jump ball is called. Wow, interesting. So
jump ball.
Yeah. But the play on the other side, I don't know if that was a design play or not, to just do a bunch of screening, or maybe it was, I think it was Conley who threw that pass to Ant to just say, okay, we're just going to throw you the ball on an open side, go attack, because we just got everyone over here dealing with these screens.
I would love to see this ball go up and neither of them jump. No, Conley wins it.
A 19-point game right now. Both teams in the bonus. A critical last 3 minutes to see if Minnesota can cut this down to like 10 or so. Here's Reed on the drive, and he's going to get fouled. Again, just some soft-ass calls right now. What I generally would like is when I'm watching my TV and a foul is called, I say, oh yeah, I expected that they would call that foul. And there's just too many of these calls where you're like, what? Wait, what? Okay, yeah, maybe if we Zapruder on the replay, we might see something, but it's just like, I didn't see much there. Yeah, Murray will return. He actually got himself a decent rest. He's on pace to play about 21 minutes in this first half, which is, for this sort of a situation, down 0-2 on the road, probably about where he needs to be.
Yeah, and if they end up holding a lead like this, maybe he doesn't have to play at the very end.
Yeah, and they hit the gas pretty early on him, but got enough of a lead that they could rest him. Murray gets stuck in the air, gets it to Jokic. Jokic fires. Jokic is making quicker decisions. He's actually been the one guy who hasn't really been on it yet, but they needed to get the other guys going. They involve Jokic in the screening action. Oh, and that's going to be a reach in on Caldwell Pope, who can't believe it, but this will be free throws for Conley. Yeah, Eamon notes in the comments, Conley's been so good in the playoffs for a 6-foot guard his age. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's kept himself in great shape. But if you're going to look at where he is now based on where he was at the end of 2022 and the hamstring issues that really dogged him for 2 straight seasons, he must have done something that offseason to get it right, because he really has not had any injury issues of note since he came to, well, even last year in Utah, and then, of course, since he came to Minnesota. Yeah, they set 2 screens in the backcourt for Murray. Now Gordon gets it back to Murray. They set a wedge screen for Jokic, but good job pushing him further out on the floor. Late clock. Double team comes. Murray trying to get past Reed. Has to fight up a shot. What a shot that was.
Jamal Murray, 7 of 11 from the field for 15 points. Big response for him in game 3.
And Towns, he said he hit it off the foot. Are they going to challenge this? See, he should do the Jokic, like, tie your shoe thing to slow him down. Yeah, it hits the foot of Braun. How do you miss that call? Like, who's this is what I don't understand of how you miss that call. Whose foot could it have possibly hit? Like, Towns' foot is nowhere near there. So best playoff version, something like EPM or Raptor that we track. Nothing really. I don't know. Is there playoff EPM? I would assume that would be it.
I don't believe they do it.
What coaches' press conferences do I like to watch the most?
Oh, actually, there is playoff EPM.
Okay, yeah,
it's a quick tab that I had never clicked on before. Leader is Anthony Edwards plus 8.8.
That's pretty good.
Oh, you want to answer the press conference? You watch a lot more press conferences than I do.
I don't watch that many. I mean,
you watch more than I do because mine's almost.
I mean, the guy probably Dignault is the guy who I think actually gives you like the most thoughtful, real information. Will Hardy is certainly good. There's the ones who are kind of more comedy. Yeah, let's see. So this should, yeah. Yes. I mean, this is insane. Like, his foot is nowhere close.
Well, the more important thing is, like, why else would the ball have bounced the way it bounced?
Exactly. That's what I just didn't understand about that call.
By the way, just because I accidentally clicked that way, last in playoff EPM, Rui Hachimura.
Can I guess it?
Sure. You can guess players, and I'll tell you if.
Last in playoff EPM. It's a pretty small sample.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Hero?
Not in the bottom 10.
No, I guess that's right. Yeah, because he put up some enough box score stats. There is a box score power. So McLaughlin is in now, interestingly. They're going, rather than putting in Anderson. That's kind of surprising.
Nice pass.
And Alexander Walker is open underneath. He dunks it. Wolves bench aghast that there was no foul on that play. And they're trying to have Brown bring it up, but having him do that against Alexander Walker, he's going to get a little sped up. Gordon. Jokic says, calm down. I want you both to set screens here. You want to go after Towns. They'll switch it. Murray. Tough fading shot. Nice rebound by Edwards. That's 2 Skywalkers going for that rebound with him and Gordon. Now Gordon trying to pressure him. And, just breaks his ankles behind the back. Beautiful pass to the corner. McLaughlin. Yeah, he's I would say fresh off the bench, but I don't know how fresh you can be. He hasn't played in these playoffs really, but I
And
think they're trying
Minnesota
to.
5 of 17 from long range.
Jokic left-handed pass into the corner. McLaughlin goes down. Jokic just moves it. He moved it so quickly there. And Denver back up by 18. A rough exchange there for Minnesota. Now Edwards, quick step up screen to get him on Jokic, but he has to get off the ball. Reed. They don't guard McLaughlin at all, and he missed 2 in a row. Weird sub, you could say, maybe there from Finch. And McLaughlin did do a great job getting back there on the pass to Brown.
Yeah, and short-circuited that fast break. And that's another way that McDaniel's foul trouble has changed this, is that they're even trying McLaughlin here.
Yeah, I guess they just feel like they can't play Conley any longer. They needed some sort of point guard in. Jokic bludgeons his way in, goes to the Sombor, but missed it. That's just a little bit out of his range. Now Reed going to turn on the Jets and kick out. That's the right pass. Towns is wide open, and then I don't think he's missed an open 3 all playoffs. They don't quite get, I would say, the 2-for-1.
No, I think Denver can functionally hold this for the last shot.
Yeah, McDaniel's foul trouble has really been huge here. But they do need to run it down. About a 3.5 second differential. Going to that back screen. And there's the illegal screen finally. They're going to get Murray for this. And that's a bad turnover because now Minnesota gets the last shot of the half. But that's the action that bedeviled the entire league. They're trying to get Peyton Watson in, I guess, for Murray. Trying to get Holiday in as well. But yeah, that back screen for Aaron Gordon.
This is this is Peyton Watson's first playing time, right?
I believe so. Yeah, Murray didn't hold his screen long enough. He tried to start his cut to go get the ball because that back screen is the easiest way to get open if somebody is denying you is go set a back screen for someone else. And they built so many of their actions around that principle. Edwards has been relatively quiet. He's guarded by Brown. I think Brown's gone the whole way in this quarter. Jokic is out in pick and roll. They set up Reed, air ball. And Minnesota only 41 points in the first half. That is your story. 6 of 20 from downtown, while Denver is 6 of 12. And the Wolves also only have 1 offensive rebound. I hope you don't like offensive rebounds. There's only 4 in the first half. And we'll be back to talk second half in about 13 minutes or so. All right, we're back here for the second half. Denver 56, Minnesota 41. Wolves have taken 20 3-point attempts, more than half of their shots, but they've made just as many threes as Denver, 6 of 12 versus 6 of 20. And I think another key thing here is going to be McDaniel's foul trouble, because they haven't really forced any turnovers. And that's the other huge number. Denver, 3 turnovers in the first half. Wolves only had 4. But the possession game just hasn't been a factor for either team.
Minnesota 9 of 18 in the paint. Denver 9 of 17 in the paint. But free throws are another part of that story, and Denver has 10 attempts. Minnesota has 7.
Yeah, they actually played McLaughlin for a little bit down the end. He missed a couple of big threes. They try to screen for Towns, and then they get McDaniels a dunk. Beautiful work there, setting a good screen by McDaniels. Then that opened him up to roll to the basket. Back screen for Murray with Gordon. They want to try to use Gordon more as a screener. He'll take the 3, and now 7 of 13 from downtown for Denver, above the break 3 by Aaron Gordon. Edwards gets Murray in the air. They didn't really match up. He has to leave it to Gobert. That was actually pretty good footwork by Gobert.
What is Jokic yelling about here?
I think it should be out of bounds off Gobert. And yeah, he was screaming at the bench to challenge it, and that's what they're going to do here. They have not challenged yet, right?
No, it was Towns. It was the Towns Christian Brown play that Minnesota challenged.
Yeah. I'm interested to see.
I think, considering it's a change of possession, I think you need to be at least like 90% on this to justify using a challenge on it.
Yeah, and I don't know how they could be. I mean, Jokic, he's their star. He said he was certain. And when it's on an out of bounds call, let's see it here. So is the idea that it's just still in contact with his arm afterwards? Yeah. Oh, it does re-hit.
It hits his left arm.
It hits the forearm. Good call there, Jokic.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be Nuggets ball.
Do you think there's any chance Jimmy Butler is traded this offseason? Yes, I absolutely do. I think that if Butler and the Heat cannot come to terms on an extension, that there could be some agitation, and it wouldn't stun me if that agitation led to a trade.
Well, Danny, I think since you're not in the room with the Miami Heat, you should keep your mouth shut. I'm never going to get tired of doing that. I'm going to try to capture that exact intonation by Pat Riley for like the next 5 years.
It's your new Jim Mora playoffs.
Oh, man.
I mean, nothing's ever going to top that.
That's like the playoffs thing is like his 4th best one.
But it's so great. And it's everything. It's the response, it's the intonation, it's everything else.
No, I mean, the one where he goes through the litany of ways in which the reporters could possibly be wrong is amazing. He's like, you think you know, but you don't know. But that's so good that like my wife even loves that one. We reference it all the time.
I mean, one of my favorites, I was watching the Denny Green, they are who we thought they were, we let him off the hook. I was watching that press conference live. I just had ESPN News going. I don't know if I was in college or law school or whatever at that point.
It would have been 2005.
And 2005, so I was in college. And I was just like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard. And then the Mike Singletary can't win with them one. I was in the room for that because I was covering football at the time, which was great. That was the best one I've ever been around for, of a coach going.
Yeah. If I didn't have like a family or other interests, the list of things that I'd like to do in media, I mean, one would obviously be just covering a team for a full season, like do all the road trips and stuff in the NBA, and then covering football would be the other one.
It was fun. Quotes weren't.
I think actually covering big time college football in one of these cities where, a Nick Saban's here, like the coach, just like a fucking god. That would be pretty fun too.
So we brought up the Mike Gundy one. I believe Anthony Slater was in the room for that one because I think he was
Oh,
still.
I think he might have been. I think he might have said that. Yes, I've absolutely read Friday Night Lights. And I also enjoyed the movie, even though the actual game in which they lost. Oh, yes, of course. That's just a beautiful Tony Brothers call right there.
At least it's only Karl Anthony Towns second.
But yeah, he gets that left arm in. Once he gets that left arm in, there's just no reason for that. You can pressure him, but you got to show your hands.
And I have not read Friday Night Lights. I have not seen the movie. I have not seen the show. It is one of my big pop culture absences. Maybe rectified this offseason.
Yeah, the show I thought was kind of overrated, but the movie I thought is possibly the best sports movie ever. It is really, really good. So what's going on here? They're just cleaning up. All right, back to basketball. Seems like this game has been taking forever, and it started super late too. But Towns is trying to get that pressure up on Jokic, and then Jokic just sends him to out of the way, and he just totally lost contact with him. But they're still okay. Here's Caldwell Pope, and Caldwell Pope is 3 for 3 on those tough mid rangers. And as much as you want to talk about all the screening and the toughness and the refs and all that, and Denver's making their jumpers and Minnesota is not. Here's Edwards going to try to change that, and he hits a 3 from up top.
Edwards has 2 of the 7 made threes for Minnesota now. Minnesota 7 of 21.
Here's Murray. Gobert just goes down, gets back on his feet. They should have screened for Murray before that. McDaniel's trying to stay with Murray. Murray trying to create the space. Oh, what a shot that is. I mean, and that's like the mid-range shooting from Denver. Murray and KCP has been awesome.
8 of 12 for Denver from mid-range.
Yeah, and they're 7 of 13 from 3. Here's Edwards. Has space against KCP. They're at the elbows. Now they want to go after Murray in the screening action. Edwards, a little too long to get off the ball that time, but Conley, so calm at the end of the clock. Yeah, they're doing more Gordon ball handling here to take away the pressure. Now Jokic has it. Set that zoom for Murray. He tried to draw the foul on McDaniels. Thank God they didn't call that. Now Murray works into the lane. He gets blocked by McDaniels, and then
he swung his arm down.
Foul him. Yeah, he does foul him with 0.5 on the shot clock, and that'll be his 4th. That one I agree with, though. You got to call that one.
Yeah, caught him on the arm with the right hand. It's a correct call.
I think down 15, you should consider leaving him out here. Jokic will take the 3. Jokic, he really has struggled with his shot making in this series. Here's Edwards going to pull up, and you could feel that he wasn't comfortable landing. He kind of short-armed it. KCP looked like he was going to be in his landing zone, and then he didn't actually go in there. They go under on Gordon. He'll take the 3, and I mean, sometimes it's your night, and sometimes it's not the other team's night, and that's what it's looking like here with this shooting by Denver here in the 3rd. But, they're the champions for a reason. They're a pretty good shooting team. Towns working against Gordon, who's trying to get physical with him. Gordon stays on the ball. Yes. Beautiful work there by Towns. I thought Gordon was going to run him down from behind and get a steal, and Towns picked up his dribble and found Gobert. They stay going under on Gordon. McDaniels is in the game here still too against Jamal Murray. Jokic again sets a monster screen that sets up penetration, leading to this from Gordon. Yes, Aaron Gordon, 3-3-pointers here in the third as Denver has maintained near a 20-point lead. Minnesota, very little pace to their offense right now. Conley in the pick and roll with Gobert forces Jokic to stay on the ball, but Gordon cracks back to knock it away from Gobert. Gobert's tired. He can't get back. Porter Jr.'s three-pointer. That goes down, and the Denver Nuggets have responded in full. They now lead by 22, down 2-0 in Game 3.
I'm pulling up the third quarter shot chart for the Denver Nuggets. They have taken one shot in the paint, and they have taken 7 jump shots. They have made 6 of those 7 jump shots, and they missed the shot in the paint. That was the Jamal Murray block. I'm fine keeping on going in broadcast. I will note that I think we're close to done here, but of course I'm happy to keep going because we're still going to watch the game anyway.
Yeah, Seth just tweeted it. 3 of 3 from 3 on Gordon for Gordon. 2 of them above the break to start the half, as they might not be your nighttime. Like, have they even gotten a single shot at the rim in this quarter?
Denver? No.
Yeah, it's all jumpers, right?
The only shot in the paint was the Jamal Murray shot that McDaniels blocked.
Yeah.
Whereas Minnesota, 4 restricted area, 2 above the break threes, and that's it.
Yeah, 16 points now for Denver. Gordon has 9 of those on three-pointers. Is there anything you're thinking of that Minnesota should be trying to do differently, or different players they should go to, anything along those lines?
I'd like to see, I don't know if this is like a difference in approach. I'd like to see a little bit more urgency and off-ball movement in their offense. I think that defensively, they're not doing a ton wrong. It's just that Denver is hitting a number of shots. But offensively, I think they are doing some things wrong.
I think they're getting good stuff out of the Conley Gobert pick and roll, and that they should just try to run that in a way where maybe Conley can get off the ball a little earlier, and then they can attack more on the weak side with actually their 2 best offensive players.
That's an interesting question from Jacob. Are the Thunder slightly overrated as a 3-point shooting team? Seems like a lot of guys with like slow releases. Yes, I think that they are. This will come up at certain moments when they're behind. That the Thunder, they have guys that aren't like, they can't really, like, I guess you'd use scalability as the term for that. They don't really have scalable 3-point shooters. They have guys that are good at what they do, but you can't really expand it beyond them. And that is a weak point of their team. It is theoretically something they could address with the like Josh Giddey starting closing spot. But they're able to have a good offense even without that. I do think it would help.
Wes says Minnesota's energy just looks really lacking tonight. Well, I think when Denver has just set more screens in the backcourt, which they probably should have been doing this whole time. And then when they have pressured, Minnesota or Denver's actually done a good job of attacking and punishing that some too. And then the other thing is McDaniels basically missed the whole first half, and he's their best guy at that. And also, they're just generally not going to have as much pressure with Gobert in, because he's going to hang back by the rim. The pressure really ramped up in Game 2 without him. Good denial by Murray on Conley. They try to blind pig him. That doesn't work either.
And that deflection by Jamal Murray that just runs another couple seconds. Minnesota hasn't gotten into anything. 13 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and Murray definitely competing more on the defensive end in this game too. Here's Conley. And yeah, they run that action with Gobert. And Caldwell Pope got caught napping. I think that was him who was responsible for McDaniels on the cut. Yeah, Jokic is just continuing to try to draw fouls, and he's like, okay, you're going to let him get physical with me? I'll just push him. KCP fires the three, and a foul on Mike Conley is going to send with the line for three, again with 4.8 on the clock. Couple of bad fouls by Minnesota.
I'd like to see the contact there, but I'm pretty sure it occurred.
Can Denver still win this series? Of course.
Of course.
Absolutely. I mean, they're going to win this game in all likelihood, and then they just got to win one more. Yeah, Clippers Mavs 2021. I would disagree with that because to me, the Clippers going down 0-2 in that series, yeah, obviously the Mavs played great and Luka played great, but the Clippers were just making so many obvious, terrible mistakes that there wasn't necessarily like the obvious schematic fix for Denver. They had to just do the play harder adjustment and also just hope that the Wolves started to miss some shots, which they have, but they've played much better defense. That's really where this comes from. And even if they weren't just shooting the shit out of the ball, they would be totally competitive and probably still leading in this game. 23-point lead. Gobert on the short roll. Kick to Edwards on the weak side. Stepping back on Gordon. Yes. I mean, they should run that Conley-Gobert pick and roll every single time until they stop it. Because, like, the fact that their answer to that, because they don't want to leave Jokic back, because then Conley could just walk into a three. Here's Murray. Beautiful job there, but he missed the layup. He did well to time his acceleration before McDaniels could get back in front. Here's Edwards getting to his spot. Backs up and scores. Anthony Edwards starting to heat up. They set the screen in the backcourt for Jokic. He goes right through Towns. And again, see, they've tried to pressure more. So Jamal Murray actually sets a screen for Jokic. They don't want to switch that. And so Jokic now has a free run to the rim. Double team on Edwards. He's going to attack. Towns closed down beautifully by Gordon. That's going to be a oh, whoa, that was very close. I thought that was a charge. What's the foul situation on Towns? That would only be his.
That would be his third.
Oh yeah, he reaches. His problem was he reached. That's why it's going to be a blocking foul. That's the right call. He moved forward to reach in. Conley in the corner. Works the pick and roll. Oh, he got deflected, but fouled by Jamal Murray.
And that is the second Denver foul. They didn't have any. They didn't have any fouls until these two. I didn't realize they had none in the first 6 minutes.
Into Gobert. Screen for Edwards by Conley. Little zoom action. Edwards probably should have engaged Jokic faster. They moved the ball. Gobert, left-handed pass. Gordon almost stole that. KCP almost stole that. And now they only have 4.1 to shoot.
And better effort, better activity from Denver on the defensive end. You could see it there. Minnesota was moving the ball, but Denver was staying with them. They didn't concede that much of an advantage.
Yeah, I thought Edwards was too slow there to make a play. Now he's going to try to get double teamed, has to fight it up, and probably could have gotten off the ball there to Towns, but it was late clock. Good, well-timed double late in the clock by Denver to force that air ball. Yeah, Edwards has 17 on 7 of 13, but only has taken 5 two-point attempts tonight. Jokic at the elbow. They want to screen for Murray. The zoom action again. Murray gets wide open. Another monster screen by Jokic, but Murray couldn't hit that one. Edwards. Jokic trying to load towards him. They got Jokic on Towns right now. They'll go after Porter Jr. Yeah, Edwards, he's just taking too long to make a decision here. Now he gets out of it, goes right at Gordon. What a finish.
but he has more burst than, let's say, Jason Tatum. So the late decision doesn't burn them the way it's burned the Celtics in their game, too.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think when he gets Porter Jr. switched on to him, he should just go immediately. And we're going to fight there. Finally is the call I've been waiting for all game. And I thought that was one of the less egregious examples. I mean, that's an unbelievable finish by Edwards off his left hand, right foot.
Strong defender, well-positioned, defended it well. Didn't matter.
Conley's on the bench now, so they're going to run it through Edwards, it looks like.
And these
It's
minutes were bad in the first half.
Here's the three. Oh, Murray got back in to block it or force it to be short, and then McDaniels loses it. Jokic on the push, and Gobert is going to pick up yet another cheapie. Jokic wants a transition take foul. And this game seriously may set an NBA record for most fouls 35 feet from the basket or more. Reed is in now for Towns. Jokic off the screen. Reed went under it. Now Jokic is going to back down. Double team comes. Alexander Walker spin. Gobert came over, and Jokic, unperturbed that time, pushes it back to a 20-point Denver lead. Backdoor. Jokic actually did step up that time, and offensive foul. I think that's the right call.
Deviation.
I think he deviated. Would you say it's a deviation?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He goes a little bit to his left. Somebody's twirling their finger on the bench. I don't think he made that shot, though. Let's see it. Yep. That's an offensive foul. Yep. You see, he puts his right foot out so he can jump back into him. They should not challenge this.
And it doesn't look like they are.
Larry says, isn't that the same shit that Brunson does? No, because Brunson does it when guys are on his back. So if you run into his back from behind, that is a foul. If you jump sideways, it's an offensive foul. Used to be you could just jump sideways and it was just, hey, whatever god-awful, ridiculous shooting motion you do, you can do it, and it's the defender's responsibility to get out of your way. But the distinction there is, like, you can still stop to shoot at any time. Like, if you literally jump backwards, yeah, that would probably be an offensive foul, but nobody's doing that. They're just stopping. Jokic gets it tipped away from behind in Anderson's favorite move with that 7'4" wingspan. And now what?
Is that an away from the what? No, I didn't see what happened here.
Screen, I think a illegal screen maybe on Murray. I'm not sure whether it was a foul. It might have just been a violation for setting the screen out of bounds. Yeah, because you cannot stand out of bounds while setting a screen. I think did they actually call that as a foul in the end?
Yeah, they called a foul on Michael Porter Jr.
Oh, okay, I guess I wasn't even looking in the right spot then. Apologies. Murray has the speed advantage on Anderson. Oh, yes! Yes! What a pass by Murray to Jokic around the body of the defender. The rim's starting to open up now for Denver. Stripped by Jokic. He looks ahead. It's Holiday finding Gordon, who just didn't go in for some reason. Now they got Jokic guarded by Edwards. Edwards goes for the steal. Up to Gordon. And I think we might be done here, Danny.
I agree.
All right. If it gets back down to 2 possessions in the fourth quarter, I'll turn it back on. But I think it's time to spend a slight moment with our families since we have another game tomorrow at like 12:30 or something. And of course, we'll be back on Dunked On tonight as well.
Yes, we will.
Okay. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow for OKC Dallas.